This is the Weigh-In Podcast by Benoit Chestnut.
And Sebastian Romero.
And on this week's Weigh-In Podcast, we bring to you breaking down the best boxing news. David Benavidez, Claressa Shields making history, the first ever three-time undisputed champion. And then we're going to dip back into UFC talking about Israel Adesanya's latest fight. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right into David Benavidez. David Benavidez fought this weekend, won by judges' scorecard. So, when you look at the card and how it looks with most of those events that came out, when you look at it, from the main event all the way up to Isaac Cruz were judges' scorecard. And one thing we're going to talk about here is Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton had a fight. He was on the card as I believe, as the co-main event. I believe Stephen Fulton was fighting in Timberland boots and jeans. He fought this fight in a jeans and Timberland boots look, and we'll have you weigh in on that. How do you feel about Stephen Fulton's fight? How do you feel about fighting in Timberlands? He was in the ring in Timberlands. If you haven't seen, you should definitely look it up. It looked pretty cool. He was in the ring in Timberlands, and I'm going to swing it over to Sebastian on that, how he feels about fighting in heavy Timberland boots.
I feel like fighting Timberland boots is
Boots.
boots. Yeah, it's good. It's a new style. Every fighter has their own style what they wear when they fight. So I feel like with the Timberland boots, I think that looks really good.
Yeah, definitely a lot heavier, but he went through and he won his fight in the Timberlands too. So that's very, very nice to see Stephen Fulton to win that fight in the Timberland boots. And Isaac Cruz also won by judges' scorecard. And, it was more of a, I would say it was close. It was a close, the judges' scorecard shows it close. You know, they showed very, very close, and I think that's something that is to be said. But Isaac Cruz got it done, and that was something that was definitely very well boxed fight. I think sometimes I like to see knockouts. Sometimes I like to see the fights go the distance, and there's a reason for that. Because when a fight goes the distance, I know that fight has gone the distance. I know, okay, this fight is going the distance. We're going to get a lot of fight out of this. You get the round after round. You get the blood. You get that almost those heavy cuts sometimes. You get what shows up to be a nice fought event. And, most people who watch boxing could have easily predicted Benavidez, Fulton, and Isaac Cruz to win that fight, to win their fights that they had going on. And that's something that was very well. And for Isaac Cruz to get back out there and continue to win, it tells you that, some of these guys that once you're knocked down, they can get back up. Isaac Cruz, lost to Tank Davis, but, he got stronger from that. He got stronger. And that's the one thing, we have been talking about over the past week. It's being your best self. And when you
Yeah.
look at the Isaac Cruz fight, you have to ask yourself, did he put out his best self? Stephen Fulton Jr., I think Stephen Fulton Jr., David Benavidez, and Isaac Cruz put out their best selves. And that's how I feel. That's something that we've gone across and we've talked about, and I feel like they did what they had to do in their ring. Otherwise, the judges would have seen the fight another way, but they didn't. And that's something really good to say from being able to do certain things like that.
I also agree. I feel like those fights were really good. Yes, it depends how you train or how much sometimes you could get tired when you're going through the fight. It all depends. But I feel like both the fights were good with Isaiah Cruz and everybody else. I think the fights were really good. Isaiah Cruz, of course, he's a good fighter, and
Isaac.
Isaac Cruz, he's also
Or Isak.
he's Pitbull Cruz.
Isak is, I think it's what they call. Yeah, they call him Pitbull. Isak.
Pitbull Cruz. Yeah, I think he's a good fighter. Yes, this time he fought differently, but every single fight, they always have the different techniques. And as that Pitbull Cruz always he has his different uniques and fight. So I feel like he still did good, just like the other boxers did too. And I felt like it was some good fights.
Yeah, definitely a great card. Definitely wasn't missed. So when you look at the judging scorecard of that David Morello, that David Benavidez and Morello fight,
Yes.
excuse me there. You see Benavidez for the most part was winning every round. When you look at some of the judging scorecard, they only have Benavidez losing three two rounds and tying one round, and that's where, one of the judges was able to come up with that 117, 110. And you look at that as a very interesting way to go, because when we pull up the judging scorecard for this is what, CBS Boxing felt the scorecard should be. This is the live what they felt, but the official was 115 111, 115 111, and then it was 118 107 for that Benavidez Morello scorecard. And you look at that card and you say, Morello wasn't that far off, but Benavidez is in a time right now where he is trying to win everything he can to get back to what he wants to do, and that is saying that fight against Canelo. One thing we're going to talk about is when you looked at Benavidez, you don't commonly see this. You might sometimes, but you don't commonly see it. If a lot of you saw that fight and were wondering why he had 4 or 5 of the same belts out, um, walking out with him. So he was a WBC champion. Excuse me. He was a WBC champion in multiple divisions. So what he was walking out with is his WBC belts he won in the multiple divisions. And what he was able to win this weekend, he's the WBC and now the WBA interim champ. So he's the interim champion for WBC and WBA. So with that being said, that's why you saw him out there with all the WBC belts, because in boxing, not all boxers, but in boxing, what you're supposed to do, what I feel like you should do, is every time you win a new WBC belt, you generally should walk out with it, and that's what David Benavidez was doing. He walked out with all his WBC belts to show, and it was promised there that he was going to bring the heat, and he did. He did bring it. Morello, he didn't have it. And when you look at that, you look at David Benavidez, you say, hey, it goes across to what we said. It doesn't matter what the other person has. We talked all about it. Doesn't matter his accolades, his records, his this and that. It doesn't matter. But when you look at an all-time fight, you look at it, every guy, well, not every person, I should say, may say, hey, I see somebody walk out with 3 4 5 belts, I might get a little nervous. This guy has had fights, but it still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many belts he has. It doesn't matter how many times he's held that belt, how many divisions, because as we learned from the Israel Adesanya fight this weekend, everybody's always one punch from being knocked out. And the reason I say that is because, I don't know if everybody's calling controversy, but we will. Israel Adesanya got poked in the eye, and you could take up to 10 seconds. He doesn't take his 10 seconds, and then that's how he ended up getting knocked out. He got popped right after, got knocked out. Now I feel Israel Adesanya should have taken his 10 seconds. He should have taken his full 10 seconds. Get your eye right after being poked. Take your full 10 seconds, because that's what ultimately ended up in him getting knocked out. So I say you got to take your full 10 seconds. That's just what I feel. Even if you know you're ready, at least just give yourself that time. But he did not take the full 10 seconds.
Agree with Adesanya Desanya for UFC. I agree. If you get poked in the eye, that normally happens a lot in the UFC. I think, or if you get hit in your bottom parts, I think no matter what, you should take your 10 seconds or however long you have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just to clarify, yeah. So if you get poked in the eye, you have 10 seconds. You have a full 2 minutes. You have a full 2 minutes. I'm just letting you know. You have a full 2 minutes if you get kicked in the family jewels.
Yeah, so same thing for that and for the eye poking. I think he should have took his 10 minutes because Adesanya, I feel like
No, 10
he
seconds. 10
10
seconds, not
seconds
yeah.
because he didn't take the 10 seconds to relax. I think he said, "Oh, I'm good. I'm not injured." But in reality, you can see he's injured. So I feel like because he didn't approach those 10 seconds he had to rest to get his eye good again, that's why he got knocked out because he wasn't really he didn't really let himself heal, and that's why he got knocked out. That's all my opinion. I know just like Chester had his, and everybody else has their opinion, but that's mine. And then going on to boxing for David Benavidez, I think that fight was really good. As David Benavidez, he's the Mexican monster, and he's such a great fighter. But what I really want to see is David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez, because we have the Mexican monster that's Benavidez versus Canelo, who's Canelo, who's also a great
Nickname.
Mexican fighter. What's Canelo's nickname?
Canelo. He's Saul Canelo Alvarez. His nickname is Canelo. Canelo stands for cinnamon.
Okay, so yeah, we have the Mexican monster, David Benavidez, and Cinnamon, who's Canelo, and they're both great Mexican fighters for the Mexican heritage and the Mexican culture. So I feel like if Benavidez and Canelo fight, that's gonna be a good fight not only for Mexico and Mexicans, but I feel like it'll be a great fight for everybody to show who is the real Mexican best fighter, Canelo or Benavidez. I think we have to solve that once and for all, and Benavidez and Canelo have to fight to see who's the real best Mexican fighter, Benavidez or Canelo.
Yeah, I do believe that, that we do. That is something that, for the fans, we want to see. And just to clarify earlier in our episode, the UFC gives you up to 5 minutes when you're kicked in your family jewels. So you get up to 5 minutes when you're kicked and you're growing. So that's just to clarify that. So nobody's going out there saying, hey, weigh in, not fact checking themselves. We are. So it's up to 5 minutes. And to switch on back to the Benavides Canelo, yeah, we've wanted it. I think one thing that that we do bring up here. What do you guys feel? Did Canelo become undisputed the sleazy way? Did he take the sleaziest way to become undisputed? Weigh in the comment section and tell us how you feel on this one. The way in, we've been kind of, pondering how we feel about that, and we don't have our opinion, but in the near future, as in another couple episodes, we will trouble down our opinion, but we're going to let you guys weigh in on it first before we give you how we truly feel about how Canelo getting that. But with that said, the fans want Benavidez Canelo, but now all eyes are turned towards this officially scheduled Canelo Crawford. So Canelo's now got to get himself through Crawford, and I think, hey, buddy, as Terrence Bud Crawford says, it's crawfish season, and we're gonna come ahead and we're gonna get your Canelo because now you finally found your match. You think that you finally think somebody can't get you? Well, Canelo, Saul, they're gonna get you now. Terrence Crawford is going to do exactly what he did to Earl Spence Jr. to you. He's going to break you down round by round, where Terrence Crawford will reign here, and he will continue to make his terror weight class after weight class. And that is what I feel, that Canelo is not ready for Terrence Crawford. He's not ready for Crawford.
So for me, I'm a little biased on both of them because I feel like Crawford could win and Canelo could win. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, Canelo should retire. He's old, like he's not good as he used to be when he was younger." And for me, I really don't know. I feel like Canelo is still a great fighter right now, depending how old he is and stuff. I don't think he's old. I think he's got a good career. He's probably getting to the age when he's gonna officially retire. And Crawford is still younger than Canelo, and Crawford still
Canelo
has
34. Just
Canelo's
saying.
34. And how old is
Yeah.
Crawford?
How old's Crawford? That's a good question.
What
But
is it?
yeah, but do to be noticed, the ages do take. Does age play a role in this matchup?
Uh-huh.
Does age play the difference?
I really don't know. I
Well,
think
Terrence
both
Crawford is
fighters.
37.
All right, so Terrence Crawford is 37. and Canelo
Canelo's
is
34.
34. Okay, so Terrence
Interesting.
Crawford is older. But anyways, same thing goes with Canelo. People think he should retire, and he shouldn't. The way I see it is, if one is 34, 37, they're still young. There's still a few years to go before they retire. However long you want to box, how long you want to box. But I feel like Terrence Crawford, he has unique ways how he fights that's way different from Canelo. Canelo has his ways of boxing. So I think they're both great boxers. I can I don't know why, because I like Canelo a little bit more. I mean, I like both of them. I can't really pick who's gonna be a winner, but I feel like Canelo's doing really good. I feel like Canelo will beat Terrence Crawford, so then Canelo could get his fight with Benavidez, and then we could find out who's better. Then Canelo could retire undisputed.
I mean, for him to retire undisputed, he'd have to go and get his missing belt. But I think it's due to be noted here that Canelo is not ready for Crawford. Crawford has more. Crawford's older. He's got more experience if you look at it. But you could say no because Canelo went professional at a young age. But I think Crawford's got what it takes. I think Crawford's got what it takes to be in there. I think Crawford can do what he has to do, and that is finish Canelo.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I understand what you get. And then same here, everybody who's watching this video, comment below, give us your feedback on who you think is gonna win and all that, because we really want to hear. Yes, you get my side and you get Benoit's side and the weigh-in side, but we want to hear your sides to see who you think. For me, I got Canelo. For Benoit, he got Terrence Crawford. And then for you guys, we want to know what you guys think who's gonna win because we love getting your feedback and your comments. So let us know. So then we could get more stuff about you guys. Who you think is gonna win? If it's Canelo or if it's Crawford. And same thing with Canelo and Benavidez. If they do ever fight, who you think is gonna win?
Benavidez for sure. Benavidez for sure will take out Canelo if it's Canelo Benavidez. There's no question.
Uh,
What? Laugh it up.
that is
Benavidez
true.
will.
Benavidez, he's young. He's like 20 something last time I checked. And Canelo's 34. But hey, like that's true. Age doesn't matter. What matters is the quality and the skill of you training and all that. So Canelo Benavidez, I don't have a saying for. I feel like they both fight great as Mexican boxers,
Benavidez is
and I can't
28.
say it. Huh?
Benavidez is 28.
Yes, 28. I was right, 20s. So I I feel like I can't. A lot of people have Canelo. A lot of people have Benavidez. I don't have nobody in that fight because they're both best fighters and they all have their unique ways they fight. And as much as Benavidez is also a champion, but Canelo has more belts. It's all turns out to see if the ending, if they fight, is if Benavidez beats Canelo and Canelo retires with nothing, or if Canelo beats him and takes back his that belt to be completely undisputed with every single belt and retires as a champion.
Whoa, 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 I'm going to correct you there. If Benavidez beats him, there's no if. Benavidez will beat Canelo if they fight. It's if Canelo beats Benavidez.
It's 50-50 on that.
No,
I
there's no
really
50
don't know.
50. We can prove the facts. Benavidez, time after time, is undefeated and has yet to be stopped. And you think Canelo can stop him? No, no.
Yeah.
Benavidez has got it. Benavidez is ready. The Mexican monster, Benavidez, the monster, will do what he has to do if he faces Canelo.
Yes, Benavidez has it where he takes, but Canelo's the next level. He'll send
No, Canelo's
Benavidez
on
to
the
the
next level.
canvas.
Then why is he running from the fight? Why is he running from the fight? Why is it failed negotiations? Because he knows he's
That,
going to
that
get
because
beat. He
that
knows he's
because
going to get
people
beat. You
say
know
he's
it.
scared or he
Canelo's going
doesn't
to
want
get
to fight
beat.
him.
Canelo is going to get beat against Benavidez, and that's why he doesn't want to fight him. Go ahead, say it. Your guy Canelo doesn't want to fight him.
I can't say about that because I can't talk over Canelo however he feels because the stuff he says. But I feel like if Canelo's gonna work hard, he could beat Benavidez
He
and have
could. Thank
Benavidez
you. Thank you.
undefeated
He
record.
could beat David Benavidez. You all heard it. He could beat David Benavidez,
He
but he
will beat
won't. But
Benavidez.
he won't. But he won't.
He will.
But he won't. David Benavidez is on the next level. Canelo's not ready for that. He might
Canelo's
not
ready
even
for
get through Terrence
everything.
Crawford.
He was ready when he Canelo's ready for anything. He was ready when he was bullied in high school. He was ready for anything. And if Benavidez is gonna come bully him, Canelo's gonna take him out and make him be cinnamon.
Well, no, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. He's got to get through Crawford first, and if he can get through Crawford, then now let's see that Benavidez, where he will go down. He won't get no Benavidez. He won't win against Benavidez. Go ahead, take your hundreds and millions of dollars, but you're gonna lose.
I'm gonna win, baby.
Well, you'll be lined up sad with Canelo.
What I care about, I got Canelo all the way. Just like I got Jake Paul all the way.
Well, I mean, speaking of Jake, he hasn't really scheduled anything yet, right? We haven't seen no scheduling of a fight from Jake Paul. They did try to tease him fighting Logan, but you really haven't seen a lot from Jake. You really
No, yeah,
haven't.
that's true. We all thought Jake Paul and Logan Paul were gonna fight, but it was all clickbait and BS. What they're really doing is for HBO Max, they're that's starting I think this week. They're having a show about the Paul family, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, his Jake Paul's girlfriend, Logan's girlfriend, and the whole entire Paul family, and it's called Paul American.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Paul getting out with a film, but what we want to see from Jake is who's that next opponent? Who is the next Jake Paul opponent?
Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez.
Well, I can't even side with. I mean, I've gotta. If you say Jake Paul Canelo Alvarez, I'm sorry, Jake. I'm always with Jake, but I don't think Jake's on that level. I don't think Jake's on the level of Canelo. I don't think he's on that level. I don't think Jake is on that level to be able to beat Canelo. I just don't.
As much as I love Jake Paul and I'm a Pauler for life, you have a point there. Canelo's been boxing since he was 15 years old. Jake Paul only has 7 years of boxing now. So Canelo's power and his punches kill you or hurt you to be more friendly. Um so I feel like no, yeah, I feel like Jake Paul could put up a fight, but Canelo will beat Jake Paul 100%.
Yeah, but how many boxers? How many boxers did Jake Paul fight?
Only one professional and lost to Tommy Fury.
Well, technically there were two professionals.
Who else was professional? I thought it was just Tommy Fury.
Well, he fought our brother Mike Tyson.
But that technically, that fight was just like the weirdest fight ever that I thought was gonna be
No, records
better.
were counting, stuff was counting. He fought Mike Tyson, then he fought Andre, the Andre. He fought one more boxer, Andre, something like that. Okay, he fought three boxers. How many? Canelo has been boxing his whole life.
Mhm. But a real boxer, Jake Paul fought, who still fights to this day, is Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury, but he
Because of
didn't
the-
beat he didn't beat Tommy.
no, he lost to him. Like not Anderson Silva.
And that's another thing. They had a rematch clause. So Tommy may owe Jake another fight if they set it up. So
Because
Jake,
Anderson,
time to get
like,
your rematch.
I keep saying Anderson Silva. What's the guy? Mike Tyson.
No, he
Mike,
did. He also boxed Anderson Silva, but Anderson Silva
but
is
he's UFC, so it really does
he's not a
count.
homegrown boxer. He did not start by being an amateur and grow himself all the way up the same way as a Canelo did, or a Ryan Garcia, or Tank Davis, or Devin Haney, or Dangerous Daniel Gonzalez, or Jean Pierre Paul, Sebastian. Of those guys. all amateurs, all grew themselves up. They didn't just like Jake Paul take their following and their money and say, "Hey, I'm going to start a promotion." Bang.
Oh yeah. And compared to Jake Paul, who he really fought that's a real boxer is who is boxing right now is Tommy Fury, who he lost to. He did fight Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson's technically retired. So yes, that counted and Jake Paul won, but Mike Tyson is retired, so you can't really count that unless BoxRec that counted it.
No, it was a full commission fight. It was not an exhibition. So I mean, he fought Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson is not. He's not as young as he used to be. He's not prime Tyson. And even with Jake, yes, he started a promotion. Yes, you say, hey, he did start a promotion. He did do that. Don't get me wrong. The fights that Amanda Soriano has had have been so good. Those have been great fights. Like when she fought Katie Taylor, amazing fight. So he has boxers over there that are lining up good fights. But if you look at who's the star of that promotion, if Jake doesn't count, because Jake isn't really boxing boxers. It's
Uh-huh.
Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano runs that promotion. She is the star of that promotion. She should be.
Exactly.
She should be. When you look at all the others, he has a lot of boxers. He has Shondanda Green, who was on there. He's got Ashton Sly, who I believe has gotten another loss on his record. I think he either has one loss or he's got two now. But you look at that and you say, well, the star of that promotion is Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. Amanda Serrano was already big before Jake even had that promotion. She was out there.
Damn.
She fought Katie Taylor, MSG. Jake was nowhere on there. Jake was. It still went on. She still fought Katie Taylor. They outlined that event, and I think Amanda Serrano should be running that promotion. Amanda Serrano is the star of that promotion. It is not Jake. It's Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, she has more fights than Jake Paul does.
She's a homegrown professional, and I say
I mean,
homegrown.
she's a real boxer compared to
Well,
Jake
I
Paul.
won't say real because whether Jake is real or not is an argumentative discussion. But she's a homegrown boxer, amateurs all the way to professionals. You know, that's what I mean by homegrown, a homegrown boxer.
Yes.
On that one being said, for the fans of the weigh in, we are here to say we're coming to the end, the conclusion of our episode. We bring to yet another boxing UFC combat sports episode, bringing another combat sports episode. But do please weigh in the comment section what you want to hear next. You know, as much as I always say I would not want to be 5 days a week, but if
Mhm.
there's another segment you just want to hear it, you just want to hear us break it down, well, don't worry. We're going to break it down for you.
And, and for last video, when I made a mistake when everybody kept commenting, we don't post every day. I know I said in the last video that we post every day, but I messed up and I got grilled in the comments for that. So we don't post every day. We post every Tuesday and Thursdays. So we don't post daily. Just letting everybody know so they don't get mad at me for saying a lie. We post every Tuesday, Thursday, not every day. And that's what I wanted to say. And yeah, let us know who you want us to fight. And if you ever want us, the Wayne Podcast, to go to a UFC fight or a boxing fight or any wrestling or anything we do here for the podcast, let us know in the comments below if you want us to go anywhere to see any fights, and we'll see if we can make that
Yeah, we'll
happen.
pull up. We will pull up as the weigh in. Also, if you want to reach out as to be a guest on the weigh in, we'll always have anybody on. Some people say that somebody's perspective is not good enough. Every perspective, no matter what sport it is, you're on. We'll always sit down. We'll break something down because we've been doing this podcasting enough that we know how to get analytics on sports. Now we know what we need to talk about, what we have to do. Plus, we are the weigh in. We're stepping up to the scale. We're weighing in on every possible news we can.
Exactly. We give you the best platform of everything. We give you updates. We give everything. Yes, there could be other podcasts that gives you sports and news, but we give you
They don't
the
give you
re-
the energy the weigh-in does. They don't have the name we do. The energy of the weigh-in is different. For the fans of the weigh-in, it is different. The things we come up, the perspectives we take, we might not always be 100% right, but we're at least 10%, 15%. We know what we're talking
yeah,
about
sit
when we
there.
come up here. We are the weigh-in. We are boxers that learned boxing, trained boxing, still trained boxing. And we take that knowledge and we've learned that knowledge and have turned that same knowledge to you guys to then analyze and break down boxing. That's why we break down boxing.
Exactly. We the way podcast, we give you the best sports about boxing and like and then your wrestling and everything. And we give you updates. We could mess up, but we're still gonna give you the real news every day about sports and updates. And that makes us different from other podcasts. We're real with you guys. We give you the real updates. We give you everything. We're never gonna lie to you. We're never gonna clickbait you. We're always gonna give you the real stuff that's going on because we're real here and we're giving you the real news every day. And if you want to shout out, if you want to be a special guest here, um, let us know. Email us in our email and let us know when you're free and what sport you do, so we could get you here as a shout out. And then me and Benoit will read. And then if we do have time to get you in, we'll reach out to you and let you know that you're in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. We'll
Yes.
go ahead and in the description below, we'll drop our email for you if you want to reach out. If you want to just simply ask us a question, anything relating to sports, boxing, we got you. But as we always say every episode, we are not sports psychologist professionals. We just have to say that because in no way,
Yeah.
shape, or form are we trying to say we're professionals because we are not. We are just a podcast, and with that being said, this
Before you
is the
finish that, let me say one more thing before we do end it. Like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell below so you can see every time we post on Tuesday and Thursdays when we give you the best contact by the way in podcast. And now, Benoit, you can end it.
well. With that being said, this is the weigh-in by Benoit Chestnut.
And Sebastian.
Weigh in out.